I'm Josh here with Die Hards Fishing. We're fishing up by Warrens, Wisconsin in the Cranberry Bogs. And today we're going to show you how to catch some really nice bass and maybe a pike along the way too.
There. I hope not. There's a fish. Nice one. A little bit. Yeah. Yes, he's been talking. Oh, well, nice fish. Tell him all we figured out.
Alright folks, here. Fishing with our white spinner baits. We've kind of figured out a pattern on this little lake here that we're fishing, that the bass aren't really adjacent to the shoreline as much as they are in the weeds or the scattered weeds off the shoreline. So right now we're just kind of, it's a really shallow lake, probably the deepest part is 5-10 feet. So it's a nice little fish in it. So what we're doing here is we're finding little scattered weed beds and just floating down the middle of this lake looking for those. A little nicer bass in the one we catch it back on. We're out on the lake now. A little nicer. We'll forget a bigger one.
Oh, look at that. Big mama.
Woo!
Big one. That's a nice bass.
That is a nice bass.
Oh. We're starting to get into them a little more concentrated now. We're at the lower end of this lake. I think there's just a little bit more weeds in here. Probably a 4-pound fish right here. And we just got a big weed bed down here, and there seems to be a few more fish in here. That's the third fish in 15 minutes. So we're just got to find the right weed bed. Fish are here. And one thing we've noticed when we've been catching these fish, we've been catching the occasional crappie in here. So I think these fish are just following. I mean, the bass are following where the prey, where their food is, like the bluegills and crappie. So if the panfish are in here, that's where the bass are going to be. So.
Heavy fish. I'll sit here with the baits right here. I'll show what I'm using. I'm using a white spinner bait, which is a classic, very classic bait for this type of fish. And it's kind of windy today, so we can't. Top waters are a little less effective because it mixes in with all the waves. But get under the water with a nice white spinner bait seems to get it pretty nicely.
Got a nice bass here. We're doing the same thing here. Using our white spinner bait. We're kind of just, these fish are scattered throughout these weeds. They're not really, you know, relating to any sort of cover or anything. We're just kind of fan casting out in these scattered weeds and picking up a fish here and there, but it's not real fast because they're just scattered, you know. So you get a fish here and there, and you just kind of got to grind it out and get a few fish.
Oh, he's in the weeds. Fire line helps everybody. There it is. No, let's go back down there. Come on, weeds right here. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, nice little fish. This is a little different though. This is as you can see here, he came right out of this little pocket here in these weeds. We're surrounded by these little lily pads, so we're just kind of floating down through here, and sure enough there's a bass in these holes. They like, a lot of these fish that live in these weeds, when they're hungry, they'll go to the holes in the weeds because that's where they can see the surface a little bit, have a little more chance of getting something all around them instead of just up in the weeds. So if you ever fish in lily pads, lots of times you want to try to focus on like these kind of holes in lily pads or little pockets in them.
starting our Cranberry Bogs adventure, and we moved to a different lake, and we're kind of finding the same pattern as yesterday. These fish are just they're just scattered out in the middle of the weeds. And actually, this lake has a little more promising shoreline, so we'll probably be doing some of that today too, so stay tuned.
That was like along the edges. Might take a second to try to pull on the side. Very big. Looks like they're kind of running maybe a little bit of schools or something. It seems to me when I get a fish or Brett gets a fish, I get a fish, or when I get a fish because Brett gets a fish. So we're kind of learning this whole thing out too, and it seems like they're schooling up a little bit, aren't maybe the big ones are scattered around.
Here's one. Nice one.
That's the one?
Yep. Here's a nice one. Really nice one.
Net worthy?
Yeah, he's net worthy. Maybe even northern. I think it's a northern. Yeah, big northern.
If you want to take.
Just switched to a crank, guys. Just put a square bill on and got this bad boy. I'd say he's a healthy 5-pound fish.
Big.
Biggest bass I've ever caught up here.
Yeah, boy.
So, yeah.
Nice
Really
fish.
Nice fish. Just measure him just for. He is a shade over 20 inches. Real nice fish, heavy.
Beautiful fish.
That time of lure, I make my cast. It's breakfast time. You 5-pound bass. That old sun is rising. That water.